Hey everyone, so now we're going to move away from the square roots. We're still going to use them, but, and we're going to focus on something called composition of functions. So we're going to do 2 functions lessons. Okay, so a composition of function is the 5th operation. When a function is substituted into another function. So we know adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and then composition is the 5th one. And there's 2 notations for it. There's this where it's f of g. We say of, and that's the composition circle. Composition symbol is a tiny circle. So f of g of x. And what that means is g, right? G is inside of x, right? G of x is being plugged into f, right? So we have this inside function and this outside function. Okay, so f of g of x, right? So we're actually going to do this twice. We have f of g of 9 and then g of f of 4. So f of g of 9, okay? So the first thing you want to do is decide what is the inside function and what is our outside function. G is in the parentheses, so it's our inside. So I'm going to write inside, and then I have my g. So g is the square root of x plus 8. That means our outside function is our f. Okay? We start on the inside and work our way out. So what are we plugging in to our inside function? What's that number there? 9, right? So we're plugging in 9. So I'm going to find g of 9. So that's the square root of 9 plus 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. So then that's not our answer, though. That's g of 9. So now we're going to take that, right? And instead, so notice it says f of g of 9. This is g of 9, but we just figured out g of 9 is 11. So we're going to take that 11 and plug that into this other function. So we take that 11, we plug it into our outside. So 3 times 11 plus 13, 33 plus 13 is 46, and that's our final answer. Okay? So we start on the inside and work our way out. So for this one, what's our inside? So we go inside, outside. Inside is the f, it's the one on the right. This is g of f of 4. The f of 4 is inside g of x. So f of x is 3x plus 13, and our outside is g. And I like writing those out so I don't lose track of what I'm doing. Then I just start on the inside, work my way out. So I'm going to find f of 4. That's 3 times 4 plus 13. 12 plus 13 is 25. We then take that and we're going to plug that into g. So g of 25, square root of 25 plus 8. 5 plus 8 is 13. So our final answer is 13. Right? That's it. Okay, so pause the video and try this one on your own. So again, I like to write it f of g of -2 because it's kind of easier to see what's the inside, right? So this is our inside. The highlighter on this thing is weird. All right, so that's my inside, right? So my inside, and that is g, right? G of x is 3x minus 4. And then my outside is f of x. So we start on the inside. I'm going to switch to blue. So g of -2. So 3 times -2 minus 4. -6 minus 4 is -10. We take that and we're going to plug that into our outside function. So f of negative 10 is negative 10 squared plus 4, so 104, and that's your final answer. So this one, g of f of negative 2. So our in is f. Our outside is g. Start on the inside, work your way out. So f of negative 2 is negative 2 squared plus 4, which is 8. We're going to take that 8 and plug it into g. G of 8 is 3 times 8 minus 4. That's 24 minus 4. So our final answer is 20. Remember, 8 is not the answer. 8 is what is then being plugged in. Our final answer is just the 20. Don't circle both of them. There's not 2 answers. There's 1 actual answer. All right, pause. Try it on your own. Let's see. Okay, so I've got f of g of 7. So my in is g. My out is f. Running out of space. Okay, so we got g of 7. So negative 7 plus 12 is 5. And then 5 is being plugged in. So we've got 2 times the square root of 5 minus 3, 2 root 2. And that's your answer. You can't do anything else there. All right, next one. My in is f. My out is g. All right, so f of 7 is 2 times the square root of 7 minus 3, 2 times the square root of 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 gets plugged into g. Negative 4 plus 12 is 8. Right, that's it. Okay, so now one thing that I wanted to show you is when you do a composition of functions, there's a relationship between the domain and the range. Right, so this is our inside, right? The domain of the inside gets plugged in and you get your range, right? When you get your range, that range and the domain of the outside have to be the same, right? This is your, outside. So the range of your inside and the domain of your outside have to coincide. If they don't, you sometimes will get no solution when you do these. Okay, these are my favorite. All right, we're still doing in and out, okay? So in, out. So my inside is my g of 4, and my outside is my f of something, okay? So g of 4, remember that's your x value. So I'm going to go to function g right here, and I'm going to look for my x4. My x value 4 is here. The function value is 5. So g of 4 is 5. I then take that 5 and I plug it into f. So that y is now becoming an x. Now I'm going to go to f and look for 5. All right, I'm going to f. I'm looking for the x value 5, and I get negative 6. So negative 6 is the answer. One more together, and then I want you to try one on your own. So I'm still going to write in and out. All right. Inside, outside. Inside is f of 5. Outside is g of something. Right. So we go to the f. Right. Start on our inside. We're going to go to f and look for 5. So f, look for the x value 5. Oh, we just did that one. It's negative 6. So that means we get negative 6 here. That answer gets plugged into G. So now we're going to go to G and look for -6. The x value -6 goes to 2. So our final answer is 2. So why don't you try the other two on your own? So in, out, in, out. So in is G of -6. Out is f of something. In is f of 2. Out is g of something. All right, so g of -6, we just did, right? G of -6 is 2. We take that 2 and we plug that into f. F of 2 is right here. The y value is 7, so our answer is 7. F of 2 we just did again. 7, take that 7, plug that in. G of 7 is 4, right? Go to G, the x value 7 has a y value of 4. All right, this is really, really similar, but we're just using a graph. All right, so again, we have our in and our out. My in is G of -2. You know, I'm going to actually change the color to match the graph. So my red graph is my G, right? My blue graph is my F. So G is my in for this one. And then my out is my blue. Right, and then for this one, the in is F. And the out is the G. In is F again. And then the out is your G. Okay. So remember, we're looking for our y value. So G of -2. So I go to the x value, -2, and then I'm going to G, the red function, 1, 2. So G of -2 is 2. I then take that and I plug that into F. F of 2, so now we're on the blue graph. So I'm going to go to the x value, 2, and on the blue we're at 0. So 0 is your final answer. See if you can do the next one on your own. So I'm starting with f of 3, so it's the x value 3, and I go to the blue, and I get -1. Take that -1, that's now an x value. I'm going to -1, and I'm going to my red g function, 1, 2, 3. F of 1, I go to +1, and I go to my blue function. So I'm up 1, like my y value is 1. That y now becomes an x at 1. My g is -1. And that's it, -1. Okay. Now we're going to get into the ones that are a little harder. So now we're no numbers. We're just going to do f of g of x. So that means we're going to plug g into x. So now you can technically think of it as inside, outside, but it's not that helpful anymore. Right. Inside, outside. I usually don't do that with this one because it's a little silly. Because you're not plugging anything into g. My inside is g of x, which is 5x plus 2. But there's nothing to plug in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that 5x plus 2 and plug the whole thing into f, our outside function. Right? Our outside function, well, I just wrote the wrong stuff. Just kidding. G of x is -7x plus 4. So that whole thing is going to get plugged into f. So f of x is 5x plus 2. So we're replacing the x with g of x, right? All the x's are going to be replaced by negative 7x plus 4. So negative 7x plus 4, negative 7x plus 4. So I'm going to distribute negative 35x plus 20 plus 2. And we've actually done this before. It's really just the notation that's a little different. And that's it. So you can do inside, outside. I don't love doing it that way. So here's how I typically do it. I write g of f of x. My outside function is g. So g of negative 7 plus 4. And then what's going on the inside? The inside is my f of x. I usually will write f of x here. And then inside over here, we're going to write what does f of x actually equal? 5x plus 2. Distribute negative 35x minus 14 plus 4. Negative 35x minus 10. Notice the answers are different. So composition of functions, you can't flip it. Like 2 plus 3 and 3 plus 2 are the same. It doesn't work with composition of functions. All right. Pause and see if you can do this on your own. All right, so my outside function is f, right? This is f of g of x. So f of x is x squared minus 3x. What's being plugged into f? G of x. 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1. So now I have 2x plus 1 squared, so I'm going to multiply that out. So I get 4x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 1. And then minus 6x, I'm going to distribute, minus 3. So my answer is 4x squared, combine like terms, negative 2x minus 2. That one's a little harder. Second one's easier. All right, so g is my outside function, right? So g of equals 2x plus 1. Instead of x, I write parentheses. And then what's going in the parentheses, what does f equal? So this is f of x squared minus 3x. So I just distribute 2x squared minus 6x, and then don't forget your plus 1. And that's it. Can't do anything else. All right, last one. Pause it and see if you can figure it out on your own. All right, f is my outside, so f of equals the square root 3 parentheses minus 7. I write the outside without x's, parentheses everywhere. Then what's going in the parentheses? G of x. G of x is x squared plus 2. So that's distribute 3x squared plus 6 minus 7, 3x squared minus 1. And that's your answer. You can't do anything else here. Okay. That was the easier one. Now let's do the harder one. Outside function is g. So g of equals something squared plus 2. What's going on the inside? F of x. And that is the square root of 3x minus 7. But what's the square root of 3x minus 7? Remember, those are inverses. They undo each other. So we just get 3x minus 7 plus 2. And then we simplify 3x minus 5. And that's our answer. All right, practice. Have a great day.